If you're a business owner who needs to track your transactions and you don't really know like where to start, or you don't exactly know what you need to track, this and that. You know that you probably have your business bank account. Is that good enough, for your taxes, or what's going on there? So let's talk about how, if either, you're a new business owner who's just starting up, or if you are in a business in which you just really don't have that many transactions, right? And you don't want to go out there and spend, $80 a month on QuickBooks or anything like that, just because, it's not necessarily that your business is small. It's just that what your business might require, isn't necessarily an accounting software like QuickBooks or something like that, because you just don't have that many transactions. And obviously, you don't want to sit here and do everything on bank statements and pen and paper, right? So, what is something that you should set up that is pretty much free if you have Microsoft Excel, and it'll make your accountant extremely happy, right? Who doesn't like doing that? And like I said, it's free and it's pretty easy to set up as long as you just have Microsoft Excel. So I'm going to take you through here and just kind of show you the basic simple setup, how you can basically track every single transaction that you have in your business, and how just convenient setting up something like this in Excel is, because you can basically, create like a profit and loss statement relatively very fast. So basically what you're going to want to do is you just want to open up Microsoft Excel. You can see here I just got the blank sheet. I'm going to show you how to set this up just really simply, and you'll basically be good to go. So basically what we're going to set up here is kind of what's known as a bank register, right? Because to answer the question of is your bank statement enough, no, it's not enough, because you need to be able to tell what it is, not just where it came from, right? So your bank account will tell you where it came from, tell you how much it was, but it's not going to tell you what the transaction was. So one thing that you're going to want to set up in this Excel, it's really simple. You're just going to want to put the date, and then you're going to put in the place / the vendor, so where you bought it from or who you bought it from. And then you're going to have a category, and this is basically, the what is it, what did you buy. And then of course you're going to have the amount, and then you're going to want to have a column for the balance. And this is kind of where the bank register part comes into play here. And you can do this, for any bank account that you have that you use in your business, and even a credit card. This will work for tracking your credit card expenses too. But, like I said, this is kind of just a simple thing for business owners who really don't have that much transactions. And, you're just looking for a really cheap way to be accounting friendly in how you do your own bookkeeping. So you can see right there, we got the date, the place / vendor, the category of the transaction, the what did you buy, you have the amount, and then the balance. So for instance, you might be able to see how this is going to kind of go. So let's say on January 1st, 2022, whatever, we put some money into our business account, right? So we're tracking then you can just label at the top, business checking, right? And like I said, you could do this for a credit card. You can do this for any type of business account that you have. It'll pretty much work the same way. So let's say that, you started your business January 1st. Let's say you deposited some of your own money. You took like $1,000. Your business needed some money to get started. So you, the owner, deposited $1,000. So the vendor is owner name. So that would be your name. And then the category would be owner contribution, right? Amount is $1,000. And then one thing you're going to kind of want to do over here is your balance is going to somewhat be formulated for you. So maybe over here is something you just type in, beginning balance for the year. And this will be your beginning bank balance on the beginning of the year, basically. So whatever year it is. Sorry, let's make this a 0. And then, oh geez. So we're gonna make that a 0, and then beginning balance on 1/1. Okay, is 0. So then what you're gonna do is you're basically just gonna have this right here, and this is gonna be a running formula. You're gonna take your beginning balance, and you're gonna go plus this, and then that will be your, and then this will track your balance. So now, so for instance, you put $1,000 in, just to show you guys how this works, kind of. Put $1,000 in, and now we got some bills to pay. So middle of the month, let's see here, we have some liability insurance. So that was from State Farm, and no reference to State Farm, just an example. So what's that? And then we have to categorize it, right? Liability and insurance. This category is usually just what everybody is missing in terms of when they go to track their stuff. This is what you need to have the category. You can't just have the place, you have to have the category what you bought. So our liability insurance for the month was $250. So it came out, so we're going to enter that as a negative number. And then what are some other expenses? We'll just say, you know, on the 16th, we paid Facebook. We ran some Facebook ads or something like that. So advertising, excuse my spelling, we spent, you know, $250 on that. On the 17th, we made some sales. So let's say that you had a sale to a customer for whatever your business is. So you'll just type in, you know, customer name. And then you'll have income, and then this is a positive, so let's just go $5,000, right? And then let's see, on the 31st, oh, what's another expense? I don't know. What can we make up? Office supplies. Sorry, I did that a little bit backwards. So the category would be office supplies, and we got that from Staples, and we spent $125 on office supplies. So now, just to show you, since we have that formula there, it's just the equal sign, this, let me highlight that for you. You type in here, equal sign, click on that, plus that. Make sure you enter your deposits as positive numbers over here in this column, expenses as negative numbers, and then you can see how this is a bank register, and it's a little bit broken, make an adjustment, there we go. You're gonna have to do that because when you just drag it down, the formula just doesn't pick up. So on the second one, you only have to do it once after this. You'll just have to lock it in right there on that number, and then it's just plus the amount in that line right there. And then it will work the rest of the way down. So you can see that it will also track your bank balance. So why is this convenient, right? Well, accountants like it because we can do lots of things with this here. We can build your profit and loss statement rather quickly if you hand us something in a format like this. And you know, it's clean, it's simple, and like I said, it's free, guys. So you could do this with a credit card. You could do this with in any bank statement that you have. And for instance, you know, keeping a separate ledger that's this, you know, clean and organized is, you know, you notice how it tracks your bank balance, right? And what's something that can happen when you're a business owner and you're out there and you've got some bills to pay or something comes up and you have to sit here and spend some money. So it's like, okay, how much money do I have? Well, you take a look at your bank account, right? And you can see the cash in there, but is that necessarily the cash that's available to you? And I'm not just talking about, you know, available balance versus current balance. I'm talking about outstanding checks. In your bank account, there's not going to show outstanding checks. But in this thing right here, as you're entering it in here, this is your this is your ledger for your bank account. So this will show your what your bank balance would be, including outstanding checks, right? Because let's say, you know, you're a busy person, you write, you know, you don't exactly remember when you wrote the check, but maybe you write a check to a vendor, you know, for February comes around, and it is February 15th, and you write a check to State Farm for your liability insurance, and then you can see here too how it auto-populates for you once you create this table format. That auto-populated, and then all I have to do is hit tab over. I could have hit enter as well, but that just would have brought my thing down instead of over. But you can see how that auto-populated for me too there on the name and that, because it builds familiarity for this too, so it makes your life even more simple. So let's say though that middle of February and we write a check to, no, let's not do State Farm, let's give a better example. Let's say we hired a guy, a contractor or something, to do something, and we hired Paul. And we hired Paul to do some work in, early February. So it's been about middle of the month. So we're going to pay him for some of his work. Contractor expense. And we paid Paul, I don't know, $1,700 for what he was doing for us. Because we like the work that Paul did. Enter that as a negative, as an expense. Now, one thing that you could do too, if you wanted to just maybe add a little bit of detail, if you do write checks, is you might want to pop in another column here for check numbers. But then again, you don't necessarily need to do that, but it could be convenient, especially if you are writing checks to people and you don't have, just auto pays and transfers set up. So we write this check to Paul on February, and Paul, we send it in the mail, and Paul just, the U.S. Postal Service kind of loses the check, and Paul doesn't cash it for a little while. It sits on his desk and it remains uncashed. So you've got this check outstanding for, say, like a month, right? Your bank balance is not going to reflect that this check is cashed. In your head, that you wrote that check a month ago, maybe, and you probably would assume that check's already cashed. But because you have this tracking in here, you're going to be able to know that and say, oh, actually, I'm looking at my bank balance. I have some outstanding checks here to Paul because he just hasn't cashed the check that I wrote him yet. That was like a month ago. I'm a busy guy, and I'm not going to necessarily remember that, right? So that's another good benefit of tracking your stuff this way and just setting up this simple format. And again, just to show you that familiarity feature there, let's just say 231. We made another sale. See how I just typed in a couple letters and customer name's gonna pop up again. And what is that? Income. I type in those two letters and then that just pops up. And I hit tab. And it works out. And your balance is continuing to go right there. So, this is something that pretty much any business owner can set up. Either you're just starting out as a business owner, or like you just are in a business where your transactions are not that much, and it's pretty easy to track. This is very accountant friendly. If you guys were to hand us something like this, we would be absolutely amazed. And there's actually something to where you can kind of shortcut this. You might be able to export your bank statement into an Excel file. From your online, go log into your bank online, you might be able to export your bank statement into an Excel file, and then all you have to do is add that category column and kind of build that formula to do the balance and track the balance for you all the way down, right, as you enter the transactions. But that's something that's pretty much free. You just need kind of a computer and Microsoft Excel, and you'll be good to go. So of course it's not free, but it's better than an $80 a month QuickBooks subscription for your business, which just might not be a good fit for it, right? So hope that helped, and keep grinding out there.